Pittsburgh's Action News 4 at noon starts now.
We begin Pittsburgh's Action News 4 at noon with some breaking news. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi, the first woman elected Speaker of the U.S. House, will not seek re-election. The 85-year-old of California announcing today that she will retire in 2027, which is the end of her current term. Correspondent Rachel Hersheimer is on Capitol Hill with more on this big breaking development.
Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi posted a nearly 6-minute long video online this morning with a message aimed largely at her constituents in the San Francisco Bay Area about her time here on Capitol Hill.
I will not be seeking re-election to Congress. With a grateful heart, I look forward to my final year of service as your proud representative.
For nearly 4 decades, Nancy Pelosi has served the people in California's Bay Area in Congress, a career that etched her name in the record books.
It was the faith that you had placed in me and the latitude that you have given me that enabled me to shatter the marble ceiling and be the first woman Speaker of the House, whose voice would certainly be heard.
Pelosi was elected House Speaker 4 times and is still the only woman to ever hold the position before stepping down from leadership when Democrats lost the House in 2022. She became the face of the Democratic Party, and the major pieces of legislation passed while she was Speaker include President Obama's signature Affordable Care Act. Pelosi sparred with Republicans, maybe most notably during the government shutdown during President Trump's first term. But Pelosi wasn't afraid to challenge her own party, like opposing the wars in Iraq. Her message in today's video, one that looks forward amid the current political climate.
We have made history, we have made progress, we have always led the way, and now we must continue to do so by remaining full participants in our democracy.
Pelosi's current term ends in 2027, so she will continue to serve until the 2026 midterm elections when her replacement is elected. Reporting on Capitol Hill, I'm Amy Liu.
Getting you a check of your certified most accurate forecast as we are inching closer to Friday. We have a beautiful Thursday, blue skies, sunny, the temperatures look good, but we want to get you up to speed on what we're dealing with tomorrow, which is an impact day. It's going to be a little bit tricky, Brian.
Yeah, the wind will pick up again tomorrow. That's kind of the theme so far in November. We've had a lot of windy days, and rain returns late tomorrow as well. So as you make plans for the evening commute and any evening plans tomorrow, you'll need the rain gear. Again, wind though will pick up before the rain even gets here tomorrow. As you head out the door early tomorrow, and luckily as kids are heading out the door to school and even during recess at school on Friday, wind gusts will easily be between 20 and 30 miles per hour with an isolated gust of 40 possible, especially into the ridges of the Laurel Highlands. And again, that's before rain showers even get here. Another impact day on Sunday as scattered showers arrive, and then those raindrops will turn to snowflakes late Sunday into Monday. That'll bring our first snowflakes of the season. So 53 for us today, 62 degrees for us tomorrow besides the wind. Again, we're watching rain showers that will arrive as we head through the afternoon and evening. We're dry Sunday before our impact day again. On Saturday before our impact day on Sunday. Partly cloudy skies out there right now. 50 is the current temperature. It is breezy. Again, the wind picks up tomorrow. I'll talk about those rain chances for you futurecast in just a few minutes.
Brian, thank you. New at noon, gearing up for a Pittsburgh holiday tradition. We're learning more about plans for Light Up Night. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Carlos Flores is live downtown. And Carlos, this is always a major event in the city. Can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect this year?
Well, Elena, I can tell you there's a ton of excitement surrounding Light Up Night and in the holiday market this year, but you probably may have noticed that I'm actually not in Market Square for the holiday market. The holiday market will actually be in a new location here in the Cultural District off of Penn Avenue and 7th Street. Now, these are just some of the many changes that people will notice this holiday season. This is all because of the renovations happening in Market Square ahead of the 2026 NFL Draft. The holiday market will open on November 21st with the 64th annual Light Up Night event happening on the next day on November 22nd. Now, leaders with Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership say because of the holiday market moving, they will be hosting family friends events called Yinzer Wonderland every weekend in an effort to support those Market Square businesses. It also was announced that a new artist will be lighting up the Sister Bridges this year, and of course, every celebration will not be complete without some fireworks. We did hear from Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey earlier today saying while this is all very exciting, the purpose of this annual tradition here in Pittsburgh has never changed. That is the opportunity to create memories.
The one thing about Light Up Night that I don't think gets enough attention is that it's really a time when you bring families together. It's a time where mom and dad comes together, sometimes with grandma if it ain't too cold. And you get to go downtown and really watch the kids enjoy themselves, whether they're doing ice skating or the other festivities that be down here. But it's just a time to make a memory.
Now you're seeing some of that construction for the holiday market happening right here behind me. There are crews here working around the clock to get this done. But of course, we'll have a breakdown of everything coming in the next couple of weeks on our website. Just head over to WTAE.com. Right now covering Allegheny County in downtown. Carlos Flores, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
A lot of anticipation for that big celebration. Carlos, thank you. And if you want to learn more about Pittsburgh's holiday spirit, you can head online to our website, WTAE.com. You can also use our mobile app, and you can re-watch our documentary, Chronicle Pittsburgh's Holiday Traditions. 12:04 is the time, and no injuries were reported in a fire at a Pittsburgh grocery store. This happened around 6:45 this morning at Whole Foods on Penn Avenue in St. Clair Street in East Liberty. Here's a look from Sky 4 and also on the ground of that scene. Crews were on the roof of the building dealing with what looked like a fire in a heating or maybe an AC unit. Airports across the country are bracing for more flight cancellations and delays after the Federal Aviation Administration announced flight reductions at 40 airports. It's day 37 of the government shutdown, and its effect on air travel is intensifying. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington with more.
This is the list of the 40 airports that will see FAA flight reductions starting tomorrow. It includes the busiest airports in the country, from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson to LAX, Dallas-Fort Worth, JFK in New York City, Miami, Detroit, and DCA in Washington.
In the end, our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announcing yesterday a 10% cut in flights across the country. That will lead to more canceled flights.
This is about where's the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure?
Pressure has been building on air traffic controllers forced to work without pay during the government shutdown, now on day 37, the longest shutdown in U.S. history. It's led to staffing shortages, delays, and ground stops. TSA workers also feeling the pressure, more than 60,000 of them missing paychecks. Long lines snaking at security checkpoints.
This is going to be an unimaginable, unprecedented, unwelcome, unpleasant level of chaos.
ABC's Rachel Scott with FAA radar technician and union rep Cleverson Schmidt.
So you were already short-staffed?
Correct.
And how much worse has the shutdown made it?
It's exponentially made it worse because we're exhausted now.
And how much does that compromise air safety?
Every day it goes up. That compromise goes up every single day.
Sources say the FAA will start cutting flights by 4% tomorrow and then ramp up over the weekend. The CEO of Frontier is advising passengers to buy tickets on separate airlines if they are flying in the next 10 days. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
State police are investigating a feud between the Washington County District Attorney and the coroner over the handling of autopsy reports. DA Jason Walsh says his office requested several case reports and were told there was a charge of $700 per report. According to police, non-government entities can be charged for records, but the DA's office cannot. Search warrants were served yesterday at Coroner Tim Worka's office.
There is no law stating that I have to give any agency a police report or a coroner's report or an autopsy.
Law enforcement will do whatever is necessary under the law to fulfill their obligation investigating crimes, especially homicides, to provide justice for victims and also to provide these documents to the defense.
Both parties have a history of not agreeing when it comes to records. In 2023, they went to court over possession of investigative records of a police shooting. Pittsburgh's mayor-elect says it's time to get to work. Corey O'Connor speaking with Pittsburgh's Action News 4 about the vision he hopes that will have a major impact on our region. Anchor Kristen Powers sitting down Wednesday night with O'Connor just one night after his big win.
Pittsburgh Mayor-elect Corey O'Connor and his wife Katie are no strangers to a busy life.
2, 3, let's see how far you jump. Whoa! Emma, you want to turn?
High five. With 2 young kids and 2 dogs running around, the 41-year-old says his family's support as he gets ready to step into his new role as mayor means everything.
Yeah, I'm just dad at home, and you know, it's a good thing that you can just be dad. You can block a lot of stuff out and just come home and have fun with the kids, and they're so young, so throwing footballs, baseballs, you know, jumping around the house is a good thing. It gets you, you know, centered again.
O'Connor becoming mayor-elect 20 years after his dad was mayor.
I've always said there's only one Bob O'Connor. I'm going to be Corey, but a lot of lessons that I learned from him I'm going to bring into the mayor's office, and I think that's how I've always governed, and I think that's something that's important. You can't lose your roots.
As the 62nd mayor of Pittsburgh, O'Connor has a lot to tackle, taking the lead when the city is facing a revenue shortfall.
Are we going to have to raise taxes to deal with that? Should Pittsburghers expect that, or what's your plan?
I think right now we did get, as I said the other night, we got a text from Mayor Gainey. His team is now, you know, willing to have a transition with us. So I think getting in there with our team to look at the numbers, look at the projections, look at the revenue stream, see where that goes before you'd make any decisions. But also looking at, can we cut some wasteful spending before you'd have to do something like a fee of any sort. But right now, I think we're eager to get in and see the numbers and go from there.
Another big agenda item, finding Pittsburgh a new police chief.
I hope by December we can name somebody. You know, I don't know if it's December 1st, but try to get as close to that as possible, because you can do a lot of background work in that month, and he or she can come in and talk to the rank and file, talk to the current command staff, see what they're seeing, see what we could build upon. But I don't want to do a national search that wastes taxpayers' money. I think we need somebody that understands Pittsburgh. Maybe they're currently here, maybe they've retired, maybe they've left and want to come back. But I think you need somebody that knows Pittsburgh day one, and it won't take 6 months to figure out how to get around this city.
And our city will be in the national eye with the NFL draft this coming April.
Do you think the city will actually be ready, and how can the mayor help move things forward?
So I think it's making sure that those construction projects happen, that they get done in a timely fashion. But I think it's also looking at empty storefronts that we have. I know the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership is working on a plan to fill space. And that's why last night when we spoke, we need all of you too. We need all Pittsburghers to come on board, not just for the draft, but to grow in the future. So if you have a startup, whether it's a shop, a restaurant, you're a young artist, you know, you're a musician, is there any way, there's a unique way you could fill some of our storefronts, not just for the draft, but also to promote yourself while you're downtown? And I think that's a unique opportunity that many cities don't have. And we have to rethink how we use our vacant space leading up to the draft.
Kristen Powers, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
In the meantime, Mayor-elect O'Connor announced some of his picks for his administration. He will appoint Dan Gilman as Chief of Staff. Currently holding the same position for Duquesne's president, Gilman previously served on city council and other chief of staff positions. O'Connor plans to nominate Sheldon Williams for public safety director, a military veteran and paramedic. He spent more than a decade with the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police before becoming a pastor and educator. 12:12 to some national news. The death toll continues to climb in Kentucky from that cargo plane crash. Louisville Mayor, though, sharing a small bit of good news on the search for survivors.